Hey everyone. So I swear this always happens. I'll make like 3 or 4 videos in a row and then I'll be done for like 2 weeks and then all of a sudden I'll do the same thing. It's so funny. Um, but I had we are literally about to go out of town. It's Friday morning, the weekend of 4th of July, when I'm videoing this right now. But I was responding to one of my clients this morning and I had a download come through, and it's so funny. It's just like the last 3 videos align so much because um it's this spiritual bypassing that a lot of people like can't do it anymore because it's too in their face now, because the energies are too intense. The light coming onto our planet is too intense. So it's like forcing people to look at it. And so, like, for instance, when I said that, I was worried about saying certain things because I know people are so tender right now. It's like pouring salt into a wound. And I said something that Spirit pushed me to say, and it made me lose subscribers, and I knew it would, but I don't even care because it's just like it still planted a seed in those people that I triggered in order for them to look at it from a different perspective. Whether they wanted, their ego probably didn't want to agree with the fact that you have to do the work to get the place where you want to be, and that's how you raise your vibrational frequency. Like, doing the work is it. That is what we have. That is the way you raise your vibration. Like, if your vibration is based off of how you feel. So if you want to be in more love, if you want to be in more joy, if you want to be in more happiness, you have to create that space for it to come in, which means you have to do the work. You have to look at your shadow. You have to dig deep and say, why am I responding to this situation this way? What is it about me? What is it about what like dense energies I'm holding within myself based off of past experiences, whether it be in this lifetime or a different lifetime? And those are the things we need to focus on, right? So right now it's real easy to blame, you know, the thing that's triggering you, the person that's triggering you, the situation that's triggering you, the spiritual teacher that's triggering you. But at the end of the day, why do you feel triggered? What is it about you, right? Because it's gonna come from all angles. It really is. And so it was funny. I was talking to Daniela last night, and she mentioned the energies coming in and how our DNA is changing to crystalline. And what this memory came up when she said that. And a few years back, when Lance and I first met each other, like met each other, and actually spoke and exchanged energy, we activated each other. And when this happened, Lance had this experience, and I tried to call him to verify the exact details, but he's at work, so he couldn't answer. And I'm making this video now because we're gonna be gone for the weekend. But he had this experience where, and he's very clairvoyant, where I can't remember if it was in his third eye or his actual vision, where you know what it's like when you see a window. I know because I'm from up north, so we got a lot of snow and stuff. But like the old windows, when you would see almost like it crystallize across the window and start to like cover it, like almost like a spider web of snowflakes or something. And it would just spread and spread as it froze across the window, right? That is what he saw in his vision. I wish he would answer the phone so I knew if it was in his third eye or his regular vision, because I don't know if you've ever experienced this either, but when I first was activated, we basically activated the Kundalini energy. Our union did, or just the initial interaction did, and that can happen differently for other people. It doesn't even have to be some like physical interaction necessarily. Everybody's journey is different. Not everybody's going to use twin flame energy to grow on their spiritual journey either. That's why I'm not for a lot of people. I'm for people who resonate with the same energies that I resonate with, like soul tribe, people that are a part of your family in past lives, people that have your soul family, who have been there with you through so many things that you still can't even remember, and many you can remember. And it's like that's the remembering that activates your DNA. as well. It's the remembrance. You already have everything within you. All you have to do is remember, right? So anyways, he had that come across his vision, and I thought that was so telling of our, DNA and that transition to the crystalline body. It was so telling. And at the time, I had an idea of what that was, but I didn't realize to the capacity. And it was like Spirit was showing us, like, look, just you two coming together and activating that Kundalini energy, you're starting to see that transition from the crystalline. And it was like part of his vision, right? Was coming across that, it's like the crystals were like rolling across. It was so weird. It was like he got to see how it was activating and how it was just like spreading throughout our body, right? It was wild. And at the time I didn't appreciate it as much as I appreciate it now, probably because my heart is more expanded now and I understand things more now. Every day that we're dedicated to this spiritual process, we come into a deeper knowingness of who we are and what this all means and the remembrance, Okay, I wrote a few things down. Oh, this came through in a download. This is what came through in the download with my client, and it was this metaphor where, how they talk about it takes 30 days to create a habit. I think I even saw a book that was written about like 30-day habit or something like that. It was like some book about that. I'm sure somebody will leave it in the comments because it was like a popular book. I almost bought it, but then I didn't. It was a long time ago. Anyways, Spirit compared it to the way that we respond, the consistency in which we respond to our triggers. So, in other words, like when we're triggered, we have trained ourselves to react from like a trauma-based response. So our brain is literally wired to respond from our trauma. So until we clear that trauma and we rewire our brains to respond in a different way, we will always come back to that same old trauma response, respond to the cycle in the same way. So when you start to awaken, you start to become aware of your response to triggers. You're becoming more conscious to how you respond to everything in your environment. And then once you're aware of it, that's when you're able to start rewiring your brain. And how do you do that? You respond differently. Just like when they say, when you respond the same old way to things, you'll get the same old results. If you don't make any changes in the way you respond to life and triggers, you're not going to see any results. So what Spirit was saying was, just like it takes 30 days to form a habit, right? It also, you can use that same analogy as in it takes 30 cycles to come around and respond differently to rewire your brain. So then you habitually start responding in a way from your new rewired space, that crystalline DNA that's activating, that release of old dense energies so you can create space for new higher vibrational energies in order to raise your frequency, in order to activate more of that crystalline DNA. So, I thought that was a great analogy. It's about the consistency of the way you respond. That is how you you end up rewiring your brain. And the more consistent you are, and the more you don't slip back into those old responses, the easier it gets. And that's how it's been for me and Lance in our union. Like, the more we don't slip into ego, the more we're not like, oh, I don't want to apologize. Oh, I don't want to admit I was wrong. The more we're able to expand and grow and love each other more. And that's what I wrote. Triggers are an opportunity to grow. They're like spiritual initiations. And if you can come back to that cycle so many times and then respond in a new way and rewire your brain, then you have this initiation and you literally feel via time, your body, your emotions, everything, how you respond to things that used to piss you off and they don't piss you off anymore. You feel that initiation. You feel that raising of your vibrational frequency. And the last thing that I wrote down here was spiritual bypassing is rampant right now because the energies are so heavy. You're having, just like I was discussing how in union you have to face your shadow a lot. Well, it doesn't matter if you're in union now because the energies are so freaking intense that everybody's having to face their shadow. Like every freaking 5 minutes, there's something coming up in their face that they need to look at. And the more you suppress, the worse it's going to come up for you. The worse it's going to come up. There's going to be even more intense situations. And what are you going to do with it? You're going to still respond in the same old way? You are the way to everything that you want and desire, to raising your vibrational frequency. It's you. Nothing outside of you, not a job, not a relationship, not food, not any type of addiction, not like anybody around you. Nothing is the answer except for you. No answer is outside of you. It's all inside of you. And it's about the way that you approach life. It's about the way you come at it. Like, are you conscious of your own shit? Do you even recognize that you have it? Do you even recognize your own trauma responses? Until you recognize things, you can't even be able to change anything. Until you admit, you can come out of your ego enough to admit that you have a lot of things to work on. We all do, me included. Look how far I've come, but I still have a ton to do. And I'm not ashamed to admit that. I can put my ego and my pride aside to say, I have triggers all the time. And I'm working at rewiring myself. And if you're a human, accept that. This whole spiritual bypassing thing is convincing people that they're already enlightened, like they're not a human with triggers. Like this world isn't 3D matrix, that we have to look at the shadows. So in order to alchemize those energies and come into new earth, we have to get rid of the shit so we can create space for the good stuff. Just like individually, same thing en masse. You already know, like, I speak like the entire thing in one breath whenever I channel a message. But anyways, I want to keep this under 15 minutes because I want to put it on Instagram. But you guys, that's my message for you to consider this 4th of July weekend going out and interacting with the world. Be conscious about the way that you respond to life. And if you don't like the way you're responding, change it. And when you change it, you create space to raise your vibration so you can bring in new, more amazing, heart-expanding, joyful, happy energies. I love you guys. Have an amazing holiday weekend.